but they just don't know. People see me, but they just don't know. Come on, baby, let the good time roll.
So we breezed through March with a nice solid record, and we were able to get through there with about 50 or so wins, but we head into April and we go on this losing streak. Lose about 4 in a row, win a couple of games, but check out this embarrassing loss right here, 147-82. That is a 65-point differential. That was an embarrassing loss. We got to turn things around. We're only 2 games out of the Spurs for the #1 spot in the Western Conference, and hey, we're playing the Spurs in the second to last game. So a win and we clinch the 1 seed against the defending Western Conference champions. This is a huge game for us. It's kind of a measurement game. We are kind of able to tell where we are in terms of if we are going to be able to beat a team like this in the playoffs, because obviously the regular season doesn't really mean too much once you get into the playoffs, but nonetheless we're going up against the Spurs. Look at that, Steven Jackson, welcome back to the Spurs. He has re-signed with them, and we got Patrick Beverley in the starting lineup. This is exactly what the Rockets are doing in real life, using Patrick Beverley as a better D&3 type of player at the point guard position, and then having Jeremy Lin come off the bench as the 6th man in more of a playmaker role. You run the pick and roll with guys like Donatas Motiejunas and Greg Smith. But let's get right into this ball game as Dwight Howard is doing his little pregame shake and bake, whatever you want to call it, as he does a little fadeaway, and we're going to get right into it with the tip. Tim Duncan versus Dwight Howard, and at this point in their careers, actually that's Boris Diaw, so it's even more of a mismatch, but we win the tip right away. Patrick Beverley bringing the ball up the court, being guarded by Tony Parker. Dribbles to his left. Going to do the little dribble handoff to James Harden. Harden being covered by Manu Ginobili. We're going to take advantage of that mismatch all day. You can see trying to do some in and out moves. Gives it to Patrick Beverley, coming around the screen for the mid-range, and that's how we're going to start out this ball game. Now, the San Antonio Spurs are a team that did make the NBA Finals last year. A lot of people are thinking, you know, as always, it seems like this conversation happens every year. Oh, they're too old. You know, that last year was their window. The window was closed. They're not going to catch as many breaks as they did last year. I disagree. I think the West is wide open this year, and I think that if I had to pick one team to go back to the finals, I would pick the Spurs. I think Manu Ginobili was banged up at the end of last year, and I think that's why he performed so poorly. I've seen what I've seen so far, and, you know, I think that he's had a good start to the year. I think he can keep it up. Popovich is going to do a great job of managing those guys' minutes. Parker's only 32. He's not 37 like everyone thinks he is. So, and, you know, Tim Duncan's still Tim Duncan. I think Tim Duncan's still one of the, if not the best power forwards in the NBA. I mean, he's just so good. The best power forward of all time, in my opinion. And, you know, I just think that that team so consistent year in and year out, and everyone always bets against them for really inexplicable reasons, as it seems like every year they're always back there. I know they had that one hiccup in 2011 against the Grizzlies in the first round, but they made the conference finals the year after that. They made the finals, so I don't know. If I had to pick one team to win the West, I would say the Spurs at this point, but, you know, we'll see what happens throughout the year. I don't like making predictions because usually they're, like, not great predictions, because I don't claim to be some NBA expert, even though some people think I do, but nonetheless, Patty Mills making the nice little layup right there, and now they're up by 3 points at the end of the first quarter. I'm giving it to Isaiah Cannon for a long two, and Isaiah Cannon knocks that one down. So it's down to a 1-point lead, and they're going to inbound that one. Patty Mills, full court shot, not going to go, and we will be down by 1 point. Heading into the second quarter, it's been a very defensive game so far, and you can see some of the new Spurs acquisitions in the offseason playing Marco Bellinelli and Jeff Ayers, formerly Jeff Pendergraft. But nonetheless, Isaiah Cannon being double-teamed gives that one to Francisco Garcia, and Garcia is going to be counted on as a D&3 guy for this team throughout this season. We'll see how that works out for a full season. He really played well after the trade in which he got traded to the Rockets last year. We'll see if he can continue that throughout the regular season, the entire season this year. But Corey Joseph with the ball, trying to go to work on Isaiah Cannon, not a strong defender, giving that one to Nando DeColo, one of the backup point guards, and he knocks that 3 down. Bad defense by Jeremy Lin. Now here we go, Corey Joseph on the rebound, making a nice pass to Steven Jackson. Nice bounce pass to Tim Duncan, and oh! He draws the foul, but check this out. If Jeremy Lin didn't foul him, this would have been the swat of the year. Dwight Howard coming over on the help D and just absolutely rejecting Tim Duncan. But Tony Parker giving it to Manu Ginobili. Ginobili driving in, finishing with the right hand. And it looks like he was a little bit sore as he fell to the ground hard there, but he will be okay and stay in the game. 1 point lead for the Rockets. Beverly looking for Donatas Motiejunas for 3, and he knocks that one down. Donuts getting it done from the 3-point line. He has really increased his shooting percentage throughout the second half of the season. He's really starting to get it done. Manu Ginobili for 3, though. He can still hit that shot from time to time, and he will knock that one down. 39-38 is the score. James Harden with the ball, trying to run a little pick and roll with Dwight. Giving it to Dwight on the roll, and he will slam that one down with one hand. and it's a 3-point lead as we're inching towards the second half here. Just 12 seconds to play in the second quarter. Steven Jackson, top of the key for 3, and he knocks that one down. Jackson had a really bad day shooting, but that was one of his rare makes, and it hurts us as that is going to bring the game to a tie as we head into that. 43 all is your score. Very even game so far. We were down by 1 going into the first, and now we're tied, so it's been really even throughout. Patrick Beverley on the break. For some reason in this game, they never covered the trailers going into the corner, so James Harden wide open right there. Knocks down the long 2, and it's 47-45. Manu Ginobili with the ball, giving it to Tony Parker. Nice little brush screen right there, and that is going to be a nice lay-in for Tony Parker as he avoided the block by Donatas Motiejunas. Here we go now. Shot clock running down. James Harden forces up a 3 and knocks it down. A huge shot by James Harden, and we retake a 3-point lead. But now it's still a 3-point lead. Tony Parker with the ball being covered by Patrick Beverley. Trying to go to work. Pulls up, and Tony Parker absolutely devastating from mid-range, and he knocks it down. 52-51 is the score. James Harden with the ball to Patrick Beverley, and Beverley knocks that one down. So he is getting in the action right here, providing some good 3-point shooting. I'd say he's a bit better of a 3-point shooter than Jeremy Lin is, and that kind of helps out the style of play that we want from our starting unit. But Tony Parker, so effective in the paint. Outside of LeBron James, he's probably the most efficient paint non-center, I would say, in the NBA, quite frankly. I mean, he is so good in the paint. He's so good around the rim, and he knocks that one down. But here gets a 4-point lead for the Spurs. There's Courtney Lee, who was traded for Danny Green in this association. Pulling up, or he's going to give that to Patty Mills, who pulls up for 3. And Mills knocks that one down. Now it's a 7-point lead. Here's Francisco Garcia looking for Dwight in the post. Dwight is going to drive in and finish that one home and 1. This game gives Dwight a little bit more offensive skill than I would say he has in real life. So he's really able to finish those contacts, layups and stuff. But he's so big and physical in real life that oftentimes he can finish those just due to his brute physicality. But nonetheless, 2-point lead for Tony Parker and the Spurs. Parker in the lane, and he will not be able to finish that one. Almost got an and one, but go to the free throw line where he's very effective. Put up the first shot, and that is going to go. So it's down to, or it's up to a 3-point lead. And Tony Parker's second shot, he will get it to go as well. So it's 2 of 2 from the line, and a 4-point lead for the Spurs, and that will take that into the fourth and final quarter of this ball game. 67-63 is the score. The Spurs jump out to a 4-point lead in that third quarter, and let's see if they can hold it throughout the game. That's David Lee, running down the lane, slamming that one down with the left on the pick and roll, and 1 foul on Tony Parker. Foolish foul right there. So we've retaken a 2-point lead at this point. James Harden running the break, finds the screen from Dwight. Dwight on the roll, and when he catches there, that's going to be a dunk every time. He is too big and too athletic, and he knocks that one down. So Courtney Lee with the ball, putting it up with the right, and he will finish that one home. So Courtney Lee trying to provide them some D and 3, some good kind of, I don't think he starts, yeah, they start Manu over him because this game doesn't recognize 6 men, but I'm sure he would take Danny Green's starting spot in real life if they did do this trade, which I don't think they would, because I think Danny Green's all they want out of that shooting guard spot. And quite frankly, Danny Green and Courtney Lee are 2 very similar players. I would just say Danny Green's probably a better 3-point shooter, and Courtney Lee's a little bit better off the dribble, but nonetheless, it really all is just what you want out of that position. So Dwight Howard going to the line, makes the first one and makes the second one as well. So very effective out of the, or on the free throw line so far tonight for Dwight Howard. 80-73. Tony Parker with the ball being covered by Patrick Beverley, pulls up in his face, and oh my goodness, Tony Parker is going off right now. Here we go now. Patrick Beverley giving it to Francisco Garcia for 3, and that is a huge throw right there. It puts us back up by 8. Now with just 3 minutes to play, James Harden with the rebound, trying to run the break here. He's looking for David Lee down the lane, and he will finish that one with the right, and it's up to a 10-point lead. So we're starting to pull away here. Now back down to 8, 88-80 is the score. Tony Parker with the ball, and is going to end up missing that layup, but Steven Jackson is there, puts it back up, and then it's down to 6. They're hanging tough right here. Pick and roll though. James Harden into the lane, and he finishes that one with the nice little left hand, up to an 8-point lead, and that's going to do it. That game would be the icer, and we will end up winning 93-87 as the final score. So a big win for the Houston Rockets. Like I said, kind of a measurement game. We found out that, I know it was a home game, so we obviously have the advantage, but we can beat a team like this. And this could be a potential playoff series, a battle of Texas. That'd be pretty interesting. So we'll see what happens. I think that the Rockets would be a good matchup for the Spurs. I think that Tony Parker's very good in the paint. And I think Dwight Howard could maybe have a say about that. I know that they played in the playoffs last year, Dwight and Tony Parker, but that was kind of a different situation, I would say. But nonetheless, and obviously you got Dwight Howard possibly locking down Tim Duncan. I don't know if you can lock down Tim Duncan, but if anyone could, it'd probably be one of the better defensive centers in the NBA and Dwight Howard. So I think it could be an interesting matchup, but nonetheless, we'll see. So, Kawhi Leonard, not Kawhi Leonard, jeez, I don't know where Kawhi Leonard was in this game. He would have been a good man to guard James Harden, but anyway, that's... why didn't Kawhi Leonard start? Come on, Steven Jackson. Stop taking his minutes. I like Kawhi Leonard. I want him to get me rebounds for my fantasy team. Nonetheless, I'm really getting off track here. James Harden with the player of the game, and you can see here the team stats. We basically shot the same percentage. They shot a lot of threes. We were only 4 of 10. The difference is the free throws. As you can see, we outshot them. Well, we had 14 more attempts. We had 7 more makes, so that was a big differential. You can see the team stats right there. Dwight Howard really went off today. I was taking advantage of... Well, I don't really know what I was taking advantage of, but I just decided that if I wanted to beat this team, I was going to have to beat them with my bigs and not really with the outside scoring. So we went a lot down low to Dwight Howard and David Lee late. But nonetheless, you can see the Spurs stats as well. Yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video for me. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you did enjoy. We got the playoffs coming in the next episode. I hope you guys are very hyped. Check out Steven Jackson's shooting percentage, and those I'm out. Peace.